Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It has been a month since the last video, which on the one hand hardly seems possible, but on the other hand, it's been so busy that it seems like it's been much longer than a month. And obviously the thing that happened in between then and now was the Jingle Ball, which was wonderful and so exciting and rewarding and just took up all of our time for weeks. So that's what happened. But now the boxes are mostly packed away. Some of the chaos in my office has cleared. The orders have shipped. I've got to, pack for shops and distributors this weekend, but the Jingle Ball orders have gone out. So it's pretty exciting, which means that this weekend I might be able to design again, and I am really, really looking forward to that. So jumping right in, I may not have been doing any personal stitching, but y'all have been busy. We have 4 stitching and actions to share. The first one up is Patsy, and Patsy took one of the Candy Cane Biscornu classes. I had trouble saying that in class sometimes too, but Patsy did her version. I've got the models right here. Was to teach someone how to do this Biscornu, and she did hers on a beautiful tan fabric. I love the way it's almost burlap-y color, and it really sets off the others. And this is her very first Biscornu, and she did it perfectly. Well done, Patsy. Thank you so much for sharing. Next up, we have Sheila, who is Mrs. Stitches on Flosstube, and she stitched Huckleberry Farm using threads mostly from Stash, which is great. I also love the way she changed the monarch, or the butterfly in the middle, to be a monarch, since that's what's more typical for her area. And I love the way it came out. I love her exuberant colors and the way it reflects her. So thank you so much, Sheila, for sharing that. Next up, we have Tall Treat, stitched by Teresa. This was actually in the ornament book at Jingle Ball last year, and I had misunderstood. I thought it belonged to the Jingle Ball Forever, but it doesn't. So it's now something that I could release, and I may pop that one up on the website. But Teresa stitched it into a greeting card. Isn't that beautiful? So she used the called for DMCs, and she added a light gray linen and this beautiful green plaid scrap paper with that little special delivery. I just love the way it came out. So beautiful. Thank you again, Teresa, for sharing that. And then finally, we have Tess, who submitted 2 Spooky Moth and Haunted Hounds. She did the Spooky Moth mostly using the called fors with 1 or 2 changes on 18 count Jade from Picture This Plus, which I love. She said she's also thinking of doing a version using blues, and I would really like to see that. I look forward to having that shared with us for a future video, so thank you for that, Tess. She also did the Haunted Hounds freebie and changed the middle one to reflect her black lab, Cooper, who I would love to see without the sheet sometime. And she dyed the fabric for this one herself, which came out beautifully. Thank you so much, Tess, for sharing. So again, you guys have been busy, and thank you always, if you've got a blue flower finish, for sending me a picture so I can share it here. If you are stitching something from the blue flower and you want to see what other people have done, you can wander over to my website, and there's a stitching in action page where you can take a look and see what other stitchers have done to make it theirs and get some inspiration. All right, what I'm stitching, I have had very little personal stitching, but last night, for the first time in weeks, I got to actually work on personal stitching. And this is the Greyhound Santa from Dirty Annie's that I've been stitching. Many of you know I've been doing the year of stitching Greyhounds. You can see how kerfluffly I am right now. Isn't pressed, no good photo. I've obviously changed it from being a Santa. That's just my wombat needle minder there. But I made some progress. I'm almost done with the dress, put in some hands. I haven't decided whether I want to add maybe my initials in the year on either side at the top, just to make it a little bit more rectangular for framing. I'll see when I'm done kind of how I feel about it. But it was a real treat to pick up a needle and do a little bit of personal stitching again. So that one's been fun. I'm going to be sad when the year of stitching Greyhounds is over, which it almost is, but I'm also kind of looking forward to a new theme. So yeah, like everything, good and bad. Okay, Stash Spotlight. I feel like I'm flying along. I felt like getting ready for this video took me much longer than it normally does because my brain is still pretty scattered. and now I feel like I'm just racing through, so I'll try not to. I think I'm just in so many places still mentally with being sluggish and excited after Jingle Ball, so that's what's going on with me. All right, Stash Spotlight. I got a present from Liz Matthews, which I know Liz Matthews. Gives me a thrill. But she was out antiquing or thrifting or whatever, and she saw this book called The Blue Flower. And isn't it beautiful? It's not only is it called The Blue Flower, but it's got this beautiful sort of Art Nouveau design on the front, which I absolutely love. I have no idea what the book's about, but it's so pretty. She thought of me and sent it. Wasn't that nice? So it may show up in some photo shoots, or it may just enjoy being on my shelf. Does a book enjoy things? I hope books enjoy being on our shelves. That makes me happy to think that they would. All right. On to the world around. So many people ask me, how do you plan these out? You know, what's your schedule? And I would love to say that I have a schedule or a plan. I generally have been thinking of something or saw something and just thought I'd like to know more about that. And so sure enough, here it is. Yesterday, I was walking the dogs and we were walking by the open space wetlands, and out in the middle on a little hummock was a great blue heron. And I've seen them flying by, but I've never seen one for so long just standing there hunting, because they stand still for a long time waiting to find something that they want to eat. And so that's our world around this time, because I wanted to know more. They are so beautiful, and so big. They are almost 4 feet tall, I believe, and have a wingspan of 6 feet. Usually I've only ever seen them flying far away. And as I understand it, you can tell a heron from an egret because the heron's neck will be in that S curve when it's flying, and an egret's will be stretched out flat when it's flying. But it was a real treat to see them. They are definitely predators. It was standing there not just enjoying the sunshine, but looking for something to eat. And that long neck has special vertebrae so that it can strike out with the force of the neck and that long sharp bill and grab amphibians, small mammals, certainly fish, even other birds to eat. So it was definitely working. Now, they like those sort of wetlands habitats. You may not see them in your yard unless you happen to have a stream or a very nicely stocked decorative fish pond. They do enjoy coming by for something that's there for the taking. I also read that in a lot of areas, especially in the West, they're reintroducing beavers, and that benefits the herons, who are protected because they like a lot of the same habitat. So that was nice to know. They have special feathers on their chests that deliberately grow and immediately start to disintegrate and form this sort of dry powder. And they use a particular claw on their foot to comb that powder over the rest of their feathers. And it's almost like getting a dry shampoo, because it cleans off the slime from fish and oils, since they live in kind of swampy, marshy areas. That's a way that they keep themselves clean, with their own little dry shampoo feathers. Because they live here year-round, they hunt through the winter here, which means that, as in yesterday, they're standing around in water with ice in it, in snow, in very cold conditions, and although they can go completely underwater, they have a special gland, like a number of birds do, that releases oil, and they can smooth that over their feathers and help make them a little bit more waterproof and protect from some of that cold and wet. Let's see, you can encourage them to nest on your property, but you may not want to, apparently, because they nest in trees and they will often carry food back to the nest. So you have a heron's nest in the tree surrounded by carcasses of fish and fish bones and dropped off bits that nobody ate. Also, their droppings are extremely acidic, so much so that they may even kill the nest tree. So one season of the herring nesting can be sufficient to kill the tree, and they would have to find a new one for the following year. Although they are so large, as I talked about, because like most birds, they have hollow bones, they actually weigh only about 5 to 6 pounds, which is pretty incredible. I just think they're so beautiful, and if you're fortunate to be able to see one, I hope you get a chance to have a really good look like I did yesterday. So that was our world around for this week. Question. Last video, these many weeks ago, was, do you like pumpkins? And I got lots of great pumpkin feedback from all of you. So this video, again, you can tell what's on my mind. It's food. It's always food. I was wondering about eggnog. I really enjoy eggnog, but I never make it outside of the holidays. Well, I've never made it, honestly, and they only carry it in the stores for the holidays. I don't really drink, so I don't put anything in it, and it's very rich, so it's only something, you'd have a little bit of at a time. I have never tried making it with eggs. I think growing up, we were also concerned about potentially eating uncooked eggs, but I don't know whether any of you have a great recipe or a way to make eggnog that's safe, that you don't have to worry about the eggs, or if you just think it's vile. I want to hear about that too. So let me know what you think. All right. Best thing this video. I've got a new freebie up on the website. If you were at the Jingle Ball this weekend, you may have already seen it. And again, not finished because that's the way it's been going. But here is the Holiday Ostrich. I had to cheat a little bit to get the alliteration going. But that one is up on the website. I'll get the newsletter out this weekend as well, and that will have a link to it. But if you want it sooner, it's up in the freebies for the website. Let's see. Giveaway. Last video, it was 2 winners for the 2 new releases that I announced at that point. And my 2 winners, using the word snow in the comments, are Carrie Bavis and Christine Derrico. And my apologies if I'm pronouncing your names wrong. But Carrie and Christine, if you want to drop me an email and let me know which designs you would like, I'll give you each any one of my designs and get it off in the mail or by email to you. Giveaway this video, I have 2. These are the Candy Cane Biscornu kits that were for the Jingle Ball class, and these are my 2 extras. They've actually been out. I had a couple of kits get lost in the mail or just get delayed, and so I sent a replacement either with faster shipping or another carrier, and so these 2 have wandered about and come home. So now I have 2 extras that I can release. If you would like to win one of these 2 kits, you won't get access to the class from the Jingle Ball, but it has the kit. If you already know how to do a Biscornu, you're all set. If not, just ask me your questions and use the word candy in your comments to be one of those winners. All right, announcements. Very little this weekend to announce. Again, I'll get the newsletter out this weekend. I'll do a follow-up for any of you who attended the Jingle Ball. I know a lot of you did, and I hope you had a wonderful time. I was really appreciative because it was the first time I ever taught a class. And so it was so nice. Everyone was gracious and patient with me, and it was such a good experience. Even my husband, who got roped into being my helper, said that he really enjoyed it and he would like to do it again. So if we get to do it again next year or another year in the future, I am already looking forward to it and already have some sketches that are going in the notebook. So it was a really great experience, and I hope it was for you as well. That's it for me. You'd think with a month between I'd have a lot more to say, but I think I'm just in transition between Jingle Ball and Market, which is happening now. That's what I hope to be designing on this weekend. So busy weekend, but very nice change of pace for me. I hope you're having a lovely weekend as well, and I look forward to chatting with you again in 2 weeks. We've got a quick puppy video at the end, and it's the season where I can use holiday music, so I'm making the best of it. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.